Well, I'm tired of saying it, but unfortunately, it's just the truth. Another slow, choppy morning session with like hardly any movement. 15 points over like 10 minutes. Maybe it's because of Good Friday this week. I don't really know. Overall, though, lately it's been like after an hour and a half, 2 hours, then the market starts moving. I don't really understand why. All I do know is that I sat around waiting for a long time. Finally found one trade, and it was a very quick trade. So we're going to go and recap that from today's live stream. If you didn't know, still trading my 20, 50K Apex accounts. They're all funded. And you can use code TBM for 80% off right now. Yo, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the stream. Hope you had a good rest of your day yesterday. Hopefully you crushed it, made some money. And if you didn't, hopefully you didn't get back too big of a bag, right? Okay, news-wise, we've got consumer confidence at 9. That actually might push us around a little bit. We'll see. Consumer confidence at 9 might push us around. We had durable goods at 7:30. It seems like a nothing. I'll have to go back and look at price action, but it seems like it would be a nothing. Consumer confidence at 9 is probably gonna be the biggest thing. Everything at noon might push us around a little bit. Not really worried about whatever. Yeah, that's it. Actually, that's literally it. Alrighty. Opening up inside. Oh no, just outside of yesterday's value area high. They had a little dip below it. Opening up, or probably will be opening up right at it or just above. Also borderline of VWAP open. Not my favorite. I guess 7:30 news actually did have a little bit. And then we had this really nice looking almost wick test. Missed it by like a point or something. But nice slap off the wick test, huh? Opening up above yesterday's value area high. When it's this close, I'm not going to be super aggressive with it. But I will say, excuse me, I need my Alani to kick in. Above yesterday's value area high, above VWAP, I'd probably be looking at overnight highs at 620. Below VWAP and yesterday's value area high, I'm probably looking at yesterday's point of control at 520s, overnight lows, 515s, yesterday's value area low. So that 530 to 500 flat, that whole little range looks pretty intriguing if we can get and hold below yesterday's value area high, right? For instance, one setup that I would like to see, not that I'm going to take it because I like to wait the first 15 minutes, but, you know, an open pop into VWAP, like open pop into VWAP, come back down below yesterday's value area high, sweep this low, come back up to yesterday's value area high, trade it, reject it, make the move down. That's what I would like to see, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, a VWAP open, opening up around VWAP like this is typically pretty choppy. We'll see. Yesterday wasn't the most aggressive necessarily, at least when I was watching it. So we'll see what today brings. Prepared for chop, hoping for not chop, but with the VWAP open and yesterday's value area high right here, I'm prepared for it. Markets are open. Wrong button. Markets are open. There we go. Okay, so now it came back down to test value area high, bouncing out of it a little bit. Okay, sweeping the low. That's part 1. Technically VWAP was part 1, but we'll take part 2 as it acting like part 1, right? Maybe now we go test VWAP after we swept a little low and then we reject it. I don't know what I'm just talking through scenarios here. Don't listen to me if it's confusing. Chilling until news today. Not guaranteed. I'm gonna be chilling until 8:45, of course. And then from 8:45 to 9, if something is there, I'm gonna take it, but a lot of times nothing really shows up around that like 15 minutes before news. A lot of times there's nothing really there. Matt, what's the best way to trade without having to worry about the trailing drawdown? Take profit. But once, and I wrote about this on Twitter and on the YouTube community page, tab and page combined. But once I was able to kind of shift my thought process to trailing drawdown being, okay, if I'm in a trade, let's just take like a hypothetical example here. This is a pretty clean move. So say I got into a trade at 52, right? And I rode it all the way up to 92. So that's $800, right? And then I ride it all the way back down to 72. I'm $400 off the top and I'm $400 in the money, right? So it's like, yes, I'm green $400. But the thing that trailing drawdown has helped me realize is that I gave up $400. That was $400 that was like, that was mine for the taking, and I gave it up. And that thought process has been very helpful for me, of taking this concept of unrealized gains and trying to mentally wrap my head around the fact that don't necessarily think about it as unrealized gains. Like I should kind of in a way be thinking about it as realized gains in a way. And the fact that me giving it up is almost an excuse of it being unrealized. And I don't know if I'm making sense. Like I said, it's very hard for me to articulate it, but it was a game changer for me to be able to say, okay, well, I don't want to give up $400 on an open trade, right? What I want to do is lock in money. And that's exactly how you pass a trailing drawdown based evaluation, right? You lock in money. And so what I started saying was, okay, base hits, right? I'll look for 5, 10, 15 points. And if I want to give it more than that, which very, very, very rarely do I do, but if I want to give it more than that, I'm going to trail it by 5 points. So that I'm only ever giving up $100. But from the trailing drawdown perspective, that is what like flipped the mental switch. Flip the mental switch of, okay, I just won't do that. Straight up, I'm just not going to do it. And I now, after doing it for 24 days, being funded, doing it for 24 days, I see the benefit of my thinking and my thought process, right? I see the benefit of not letting things get super opened up. I see the benefit of locking in money consistently, right? And the trailing drawdown honestly taught me how to do that. And it's just really hard to say and talk about because people get so triggered about it, the trailing drawdown, which is, again, rightfully so. If you're a person who wants to try and shoot for a 100-point move and you're down to let it run up 80 points and come back and, try and take profit at 20 points, like that's trailing drawdown is not for you. You'll get effed if you're trying to do that, right? But if you're capable of trading and actually trading and all that, it's been powerful. That's how I approach trailing drawdown. Hopefully that helps answer your question. From a practical standpoint with trailing drawdown, from the most practical standpoint, here's my 2 pieces of advice. You ready? My 2 pieces of advice for those of you starting your Apex evaluation, which by the way has 2 more days of 80% off. So use code TBM if you want an evaluation. It's for every month that you're in it too. It's recurring 80% off. It's a couple more days long. Here's the practical standpoint for me. You ready? Trailing drawdown. If it was me going through the evaluation again, here's what I do. 1, take trades at 10 to 15 points. 5 to 10 to 15 points, depending on, market structure. If I'm going to let it run more than 15, then I'm trailing by 5. Okay? I'm very quick to exit. 2, do not over leverage. What's the fastest way to blow up in a trailing drawdown sort of situation? It's to go max size. Straight up. 3, learn to walk away. That's it. There's my answers. Those are the 3 things that I think are the most important for passing any sort of evaluation, especially an Apex trailing evaluation. And it's almost 8:15. I just talked my way through a lot of very important things. 15 minutes while the market opened up. Make sure you press the thumbs up button. I dropped a lot of truth this morning. So if you're in for the truth dropping, make sure you press the thumbs up button. Let's get lit, yeah? Oh, dad joke. Let's see here. March 26th, Tuesday. March 26th, Tuesday. Today at the bank, an old woman asked me to check her balance. So I pushed her over. I like that one. That's pretty good. I had not pre-read that either. That was a legit one. I'm not shocked that we're chopping VWAP here at all. I think we probably continue to chop VWAP till 9 o'clock. Dude, what's been up with us not getting any movement till like an hour to an hour and a half in the day every day recently? I feel like it's been like weeks of this now. Right? Probably like weeks, right? Yo, Ray, welcome to the team. Appreciate your support. I feel like it's been weeks though of like totally boring chop session and then like an hour and a half to an hour and a half in every day. It then snaps and then it becomes a little bit more interesting, but it's been making these morning sessions just slow. Like I feel like right now I'm having to like hyper focus because I'm like, we have some form of movement that actually makes somewhat sense. Like I need to take advantage of it, which I hate being in that mentality. I really don't even think I've missed a trade. I just don't think I haven't seen anything that's been worth taking. Literally nothing. Which is not super often. There's plenty of days where like I'll be like, oh, like this trade, maybe the value area high short. That's the only thing I could even think of that would be remotely close to something that I kind of wanted, but I didn't even really want to take that because I thought we were going to lift higher. Plenty of days I'll call out something and it's just not good enough for me to want to take, but it's there. or maybe I did want to take it, whatever, and I just didn't get filled. Like, that happens plenty of times. I haven't seen anything today that I'm like, damn, I wish I was in that. It's crazy. Market's been open for only an hour and 20 minutes though. So the day is young. It only takes one. A lot of wicks down here, man. I would imagine that a lot of people are longing this with some close, tight stops, so it makes sense to sweep it, right? At some point. Like right now, I mean, you're longing 40. I bet people in here are doing it. They're longing 39, 40, and then they got stops at 33, right? Pretty cheap trade. It's not a terrible trade either. Does get me somewhat interested in shorts right around here though. IBL 50. And on my end, I'm like, if I short IBL at 48, back down to the bottom of the range is 8 points. So if we don't sweep the legs on the move, I'm not really giving myself a whole lot of opportunity. So I went higher, and then we never push higher. Or if we do push higher, then we're gonna actually put it's just like the constant wishy-washy. Okay, it's 51. It's not terrible. Is that a double tweezer top? Yeah, we're gonna pop that probably. Make the rotation of 56. Do we run that? Yeah, we ran that. Okay. Just no buyers on this push. I'm gonna go ahead and get short here. At IBL, we don't have hardly any buyers on this push. And trying to hammer out a little bit. We go sweep the highs 4 points, 5 points higher. Probably makes sense for me to kill it, to be honest, and look for reevaluation of new trade. That was fast. I'm not gonna hold on to that when I think that we push a lot higher. It just was worth it because like we have nothing going on here. And maybe I killed it too tight. But I'm not gonna let that sit and just like potentially rip value area high in VWAP, which definitely feels on the table if we want to push it. Down 7 points there. That type of engulfing you would expect a rip. Yeah. So there we go. And this is why I killed the trade where I did. It was worth 7 points for me to give it a shot. All of these wicks down here, I think still get cleaned up at some point. It's just if I'm gonna take the IBL's like re-entry trade, looking for run of the wicks, yesterday's close, point of control, yesterday's value or low, all that stuff. I don't want to hold it into retrading value area low and potentially VWAP. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So